Hello, so welcome to my presentation about my group assignment on C++. So our group is group 10. We are assigned to construct a hotel management system using C++ programming. So basically our first assignment is actually to allow the user to enter the number of guests, and then we have to validate the number of guests. If the number of guests is less than 0, then we are going to ask the user to enter again the number of guests. And if the number of guests is valid, which means it's greater than 0, as you can see, it's going to move on to the next iteration, which is the guest is going to enter the guest age. For example, if the guest enter is 2, so the age of the guest will have to enter twice. Right? So each edge of the guess must be valid, which means that it must not be negative. Right. So if the edge of guess is more than 15, it's an adult. If else, it will be children less than 15. And after the loop, while loop ends, break is going to ask the user to enter the room's ID. So in our case studies, we all have 4 rooms. For the first one, we have 4 rooms ID. Yes, 5. I mean, oh, I'm sorry, 5 room ID. Sorry, there are 5 room IDs. So the user can only select between 1 to 5. If they select other than that, they will be invalid, and it asks again the user to enter the room ID again. So each room ID has different requirements for the number of adults and the number of children, and at the same time it's also the price night. So for example, if the user ID enter 1, but the requirement doesn't hit the true statement of the number of adult and number of children, therefore the price night will not be initialized, but and it will display the comment saying that the room reservation is not allowed. And at this part, the program will exit out of the while loop without initializing any variable the price night. Right? Without sending any value to the price night, which means the price night will be 0. And then after that, it's going to ask the user to enter the number of nights and validate the night on the while loop section. This is the calculation area where we're going to calculate the total payment, deposit, and the total amount. So last but not least, the user need to display the room ID. This will display the room ID which the user have selected with the total amount. So this part is we're not going to say that the price night is 0. It will be display 0 instead of NA, not available. So let me demonstrate you on the first code on this first assignment. Right, as you can see, as you can see, you have to enter the number of guests. For example, I've select choose three number of guests. So age of guest 1, I put 23, which means it's an adult. Guest number 2, I put 34, and guest number 3, I just put 7. So yeah, so I have to select the room ID. So room ID, there are 5 choices, right? So I'm gonna choose 4. Yeah, so it said that it's not allowed because I have 2 adults and 1 children, and it says that only max 1 adult and max 2 children is allowed. So again, to select another room, let me choose 3. Yes, 3 is eligible. So we're going to select the number of night. The number of night will be just put randomly like 5 nights. Alright, 5 nights. And then the payment room payment for room ID 3 is 385 ringgit. So that's for the assignment 1. Assignment 2 is actually to compare the pseudocode uh, with our code. So there's nothing much to be shown, because I already show you in this coding that we have a section where you can select the number of guests and validate the number of guests, and then you have to select the room ID and validate the room ID, and also display the output for the room payment and also the room ID, right? So moving to on to assignment 3. Assignment 3 is a bit different because we are being given the input. So this is the input we are given. So since I've learned during the class about about input, output, and opening and closing files using fstream function header. So therefore, I so for our group has have to redesign, modify back our previous code. So instead of our code, this is like under one main function, we divide it into multiple function header. So we have the function main will be the down at the lowest part here. So this is the function main, right? So what's going to happen here is our first function, is check is digit, is used to check if the input that we put based on the input files are actually a number or not. So if it's not a number, it will be neglected. If it's a number, it's going to pass the values. After them, it's going to pass the value to the main function. Alright. Then the next function, the string check name, is just this function is used to check the name of the room. So each room, for example, each room has its own name, but we didn't put the name on the first assignment. But for assignment 3, we're going to put it, since it is required to display the room name in exchange of the ID room. And after that, this double check price function is used to calculate the price to assign the value of the price per night for calculation in the main function later on. Yeah. So yeah. Alright. Okay. And then this is the function for check deposit, is to validate the number of night input by the user. If the number of night is negative, then it will be display the net will be display 0 instead of negative numbers. Okay, price night, deposit number, adult, child, and calculate the deposit of the deposit of the room if the price night is not equal to 0, which means the statement above here is true, right? Okay, so return the value of deposit, and here, so here we open using the function, using the data type if stream, data in, off stream, data out, and then we open the file. Also, our input file is named cs11 and our output file is cs11 output. And this part, this is to display the guest name. So how I'm going to explain this is that you have to set the condition to the true first, so that so is alpha means that if it detects any character that reaches an alphabet, it will be true. Or is space and is alpha, is space which is a white character, which means there are certain names, as you can see, like Adila Firdaus, there's a space between. So this is if there's a space, will be correct. And if is alpha, j plus 1 is the letter after the is alpha here, it will be correct. So if either one of this condition is correct, it will be display the name of the user, unless if it's not name, it will be skip and the condition will be false. So text one erase is used to clear all the array input for the guest name, so that the other input from the input files can fill in. For example, I could say like number of adult, number of child, number of room, number of night can fill in to the next array. each. Somehow I think you can save the memory. Yeah, right. So in post, alright. So in this part is you're going to send each value per row for each row to the check is digit to check whether this variable values has is a number or not. Okay, so this nothing is to actually to erase the clear the array so that it can fill by other numbers as well. Right, and then this is to send the room name to the other function header as well. And last but not least, for this part is going to calculate the total payment. And this part is the interface section where we're going to display the interface based on the output format given in the questions. And yeah, and this set of it is to format the position of the output. And this part is if the price is 0, if it's 0 we're going to display NA, and if it's not 0 then it's going to be displaying the real amount of the money. Yeah, I think that's all. So actually there's one more assignment which is assignment 4, but that one is we have not done yet, but I need to record this so that I need to present in my ePortfolio and to record my ePortfolio for my other courses. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.